Hey, what's up? So I thought I'd do another tier list video because they're super easy. So I'm going to do one because I'm lazy. In today's tier list, I thought we would do lenses. Now I did cheap cameras last time, but I was thinking to myself, if I tried to put all the lenses that I've used throughout my entire filmmaking career into one tier list, it would take forever. So I decided I'm just going to talk about micro four thirds lenses, and particularly ones that are native micro four thirds mount. So I'm not talking speed boosters or adapters. So just lenses that'll fit directly on a micro four thirds camera. I am using my Osmo Pocket 3 for this video. And I have a lot of lenses here. I tried to go back and figure out every single lens that I've either owned or used. So some of these lenses I had to give back because I didn't own them. I was just, I got them on loan. And yeah, I just have a basic tier list structure. S tier is best. Next one is can't go wrong. These are ones that I would easily recommend. Decent is, again, just like the mid tier. Meh is ones that I would only get maybe if it came with the camera or something like that. And then of course, hard pass is ones that I would just skip altogether. Let's start. And again, I have a bunch of lenses here, so we got to get through these fairly quickly. Let's start over here. And this is the Mikey 25mm f2. I did a video on this way back in the day on my main channel. I'm actually going to go hard pass. Well, actually, I'm going to go meh on that one. It came out at like $100 something, like $150. And it was weird because Mikey kind of marketed it as a video lens, even though they had their cine version. So it didn't really make sense to buy it. I'm gonna keep that in the meh right now. It was a really sharp lens. The only problem is that it flared like crazy. This next lens is the 7 Artisans 25mm f1.05. This is their cine lens in their Vision series. This one was good. I did a whole video on this too using my GH3. I did that like a year and a half ago. But yeah, that one's a really good lens, very fast, and it's decent. I wouldn't put it in a can't go wrong or an S tier. It's a really nice lens, but I feel like you have to be very committed to the micro four thirds mount and shooting with cine lenses to really want that one. Next one is, let's do the TT Artisan 17mm. I'm gonna put that above the Vision series cine lens. This one is actually really good. It's really sharp. It doesn't flare super crazy. And for like $100 something bucks, brand new, you really can't go wrong with this. I'm not gonna put it in, let me find something that should be in the S tier. I feel like an easy S tier lens is the Lumix 12-35 f2.8. Now there is 3 different versions of this lens. There's the original, it's like purple. There's the all matte black one, and then there's the Leica branded one. I would either just go for the purple one or the matte black one. I've seen a bunch of different tests. I know that there's like different coatings and whatnot on the Leica branded one, but honestly, I don't really think it's worth the $1,000 or whatever. Just spend, $400 on the matte black one and call it a day. Honestly, I'm gonna put the Sigma 19mm in the hard pass tier, just because it's a really weird focal length and it's only 2.8, so not very fast. And unless you're on something like a GH5S, you kind of want as fast a lenses as possible with micro four thirds. So this was actually the first lens that I ever bought for my GH3. My first micro four thirds lens ever was the 19mm. It is sharp, it is fairly well built. Focus isn't super fast. It's a nice lens. It's just I would never recommend it to anyone, so I got to put it in the hard pass. And I think the same can go for the Sigma 30mm, which I also owned. Again, both of these are very sharp lenses and they're very cheap. You can get them for like $80 a piece or something like that. So like maybe if they came with a camera or something like that, I would say sure, keep it. But honestly, those are just not designed for micro four thirds. There was also Sony E mount versions of these, and they worked way better on the Sony E mount cameras, but I wouldn't recommend them for micro four thirds. Let's go to this Lumix 12-32. I'm putting this in the meh. I'm gonna actually put it above the 25mm. This one, it's okay. If it comes with your camera, sure, why not keep it? But it's just a very uninspiring lens, so I wouldn't honestly recommend that one. I got another hard pass lens for you, the Yongnuo 42.5 f1.7. That lens sucked. The focus was insanely slow and insanely loud. And for the price, I don't understand why you would buy this over just saving up like 50 more bucks and buying the much better option, which is the Lumix 42.5 f1.7. which I'm gonna put in the can't go wrong. That one is a very sharp lens and it has OIS in it, so optical image stabilization. Very good lens, very sharp. Again, has image stabilization, so it's great for handheld stuff, and it gives you about an 85mm equivalent. Next lens in the can't go wrong tier, I think another one is the 14mm. In fact, I'm gonna put that in front of the 42.5. 14mm f2.5 pancake lens. You really can't go wrong with that. It's so small and fairly inexpensive too. So that one's great. I've used a bunch of different versions of these. A lot of people are gonna tell you that there's like huge differences. I haven't found any difference between the version 1 and the version 2. The version 2 might be like a hair sharper, but honestly, like, it's a pancake lens. It's not gonna be, you're not really gonna notice it in practical use cases. So let's go to some other obscure lenses. This Mikey 8mm f2.8, I'm gonna put that in meh, and that's, yeah, it's gonna be like the last one in meh. This one was good, but if you're looking at it from my perspective, which is like a video creator's perspective, it's kind of a weird lens because it's an 8mm f2.8, and you'll notice right here, Mikey has a Cine lens, which is an 8mm T2.9, which is essentially the same as f2.8. So this lens exists for video shooters. So for a video shooter, I can't really recommend this 8mm f2.8. And yeah, I'll probably put that at the last, like at the end of the decent. This one, 20mm. In fact, I'm gonna put the 20mm probably at the front of can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with the 20mm version 2. This one's great, really sharp. The focus isn't super fast, but for the size, it's really good quality lens. If you watch Theo Crawford, he uses that a lot on his GX85. It's a really good lens. Now let's go to the Sigma lenses. I'm honestly gonna put the entire Sigma trio in the can't go wrong. The 16mm, the 30mm, and the 56mm. I owned all three of these when I was using my Olympus EM1 Mark II. I loved all of them. I think the one that I probably got the least use out of was the 56mm, so I'm gonna put that at the end. But yeah, the 30 and the 16 are great. I definitely think that they make a little bit more sense if you have an APS-C camera, because these focal lengths make sense. They make more sense on APS-C, but they're still great on Micro Four Thirds cameras. The 16 and the 56 are also weather sealed, so that's pretty cool. All right, let's go into some really cheap lenses. The 7 Artisans 25mm f1.8. This is a really weird lens. I'm gonna put it above the 8mm though. This one is it's not necessarily like a super swirly bokeh lens, but it does give you weird bokeh, which I feel like if you just wanted like a cheap artsy fartsy lens, this 25mm f1.8 is actually pretty cool. I mean, honestly, for the price, this Laowa 25mm 0.95 I would say is a hard pass. That one, it's kind of expensive, and when I used it at f0.95, it was insanely soft. Like, I understand that like those type of super fast lenses aren't going to be super sharp at 0.95, but good grief, that one was soft. Maybe it was just a faulty like version that I got sent, but it was not my favorite. Another hard pass would probably be the version 1 of the 20mm. It's soft, it focuses just as slow as this one, but it just, I'm gonna put it in hard pass. If you're gonna buy the 20mm, just go with the version 2, it's better. Let's see, another S tier lens is easily the 15mm. I'm gonna put it behind the 12 to 35. The 15mm, either by Leica or by DJI, that lens is amazing. It gives you a 30mm focal length, which is weird, but it's so small, so fast, and the build quality is great. I did an entire video talking about how much I love this lens for Micro Four Thirds. So 15mm, easily S tier. Let's see, what else do I got here? We have the 25mm f1.7, which I will definitely put in the decent. In fact, I'm probably gonna put it above the 17mm just because it has autofocus and it's very, very cheap. So for a starter lens, the 25 f1.7 is great. The 25mm f1.4, there's two versions of this as well. One version does not have weather sealing, the other version does. I'm gonna put this on the front end of meh just because it is a very, very good lens, but it's really hard for a lot of people to justify the $500 or $600 price tag that this has. especially when the 25mm f1.7 exists. This is a Leica branded lens though, so it is really, really good. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put this on decent. I think that deserves to live there because that is a really, really good lens. 14-42, I'm gonna put that at the tail end of meh. That is a very, very basic kit lens. I had multiple of those and just ended up selling them off. Didn't really care. This 14-150 is actually pretty decent, but I'm gonna put it right up here because for the range that you get, 14-150, that's a crazy range. I'm gonna put that right behind the 12-32. So if you just need, like, if you needed a super telephoto lens that wasn't super expensive, just when those rare moments when you needed to like zoom in on something way far away, the 14-150 is great for that. Another lens that I'm gonna put in the meh tier, but I'm actually gonna put it above the 14-42 is actually the 14-45. That's kind of like an unknown lens to most people, but it's actually really sharp, the 14-45. I owned that and really liked the sharpness and like the rendering out of that lens. So that one is, again, good. If it comes with a camera, I would say keep it if you need just a really cheap kit lens. I'm gonna put the 25mm f2 by TT Artisan at the very tail end of the decent tier. And I just feel like this Leica deserves to be further up. As far as optics go, I'm gonna put it at the front end of decent because it almost belongs up here. This is a really, really good lens. Now, another lens that I absolutely loved, and it's great for Micro Four Thirds, especially if you want to do any talking to camera pieces, is the 12mm Leica f1.4. And I'm gonna put that actually in front of the 25mm. This one is great, very expensive. I think it cost me $800 or $900 and I bought it used. So it's a very, very good lens, but it's huge. And that's something that I'm really like, I always get frustrated with Panasonic's design philosophy is that like, you'll notice that like the 25mm, the 12mm, the 15mm, they're all Leica branded, but none of them look the same. They're all different body sizes. Some of them have the aperture rings, some of them don't. The new Leica 9mm doesn't have an aperture ring, but the 15mm does. The 12mm f1.4 and then the 42.5mm f1.4 or f1.2, those lenses are both the exact same size. I think they have like a 67mm front filter thread, but then the 25 has a 46 and the 15 has a 46, and then the 9mm has like a 55. So it's like, they're all insanely different sizes and weights and filter sizes, and it's just, sorry, that's a rant, I'm sorry. Let's go to a lens that the company actually sticks to a consistent design philosophy, and that is Olympus. I'm putting that in the S tier. Probably, I'm gonna put that behind my 15mm. The Olympus 12-40 f2.8 Pro is a great lens, and that's something that I loved when I was using Olympus cameras and Olympus gear. All of their lenses look the same. They all have the same coating. They're not a bunch of weird, funky colors. So you buy one Olympus lens and you can buy a bunch of other Olympus lenses and they all look like they belong to the same family. Not something that Lumix can say. All right, the next lenses, I'm getting down to like these weird third-party ones. This 35mm f1.4 by 7 Artisans, I'm gonna put that in the meh. Really good lens, I did an entire video devoted to it. Really good lens, it's just kind of an uninspiring one, but I'm gonna put it probably right here. It's better than these ones. You can get a lot of really nice bokeh with that one. Decent, I'm gonna put all these Rokinons in decent, even though I know people probably won't agree with me. The 12mm f2 is great. The 21mm f1.4 is again great, and the 7.5mm 3.5 fisheye is also great if you're into fisheyes. All of these lenses by Rokinon were great when I used them. A lens that was probably better than most of these as far as the wide angle goes was the Laowa 7.5mm. I'm gonna put that right there because it's better than the 8mm by Mikey. Laowa makes really good wide angle lenses. I feel like that's where their strengths are. I'm gonna put this 10mm right behind it because the 10mm T2.1 was a really nice lens for Micro Four Thirds. I just feel like those Laowa Cine lenses are way too expensive. It's like, I don't know who their target audience is. Maybe it's just people that fly drones, but man, this 10mm T2.1 was way too expensive. I feel like this decent category is filling up the most, but again, I'm gonna put this 35mm Mikey Cine lens right here by the 8mm. I did a video on both of these lenses. They're both really decent. And then we're just stuck with these TT Artisan lenses, which I feel like are just gonna end up indecent. The 50mm, this lens is great, and it's 1.2 and it's really fast. I'm gonna put it at the front end of the mass section. In fact, I'm gonna put it in front of the 12-32. It's a cooler lens than the 12-32. And I'm gonna put the 35mm probably right here. 7.5mm is cool, but I feel like it's very niche and most people probably wouldn't really like it. As you see, there's a lot of decent lenses that you can choose from. Honestly, these two Leica lenses probably, I mean, if you can get them for good prices, then they're in the can't go wrong section. The 25mm, the 17mm, hold on, I'm gonna switch some things around. I feel like 35 and the 50, I'm gonna put these in different orders. I'm gonna put them in orders of would I buy them. I'd probably buy this before the 25. I'd probably buy the 25 before I bought the 10mm. This fisheye is just gonna be lonely in the back here. Yeah, I feel like I'm happy with that. S-tier lenses, ones that are literally just easy buys. 12mm, the 12-35, the 15mm, the 12-40. Ones that you just cannot go wrong with are all these: the 20mm, the 14, 42.5, the Sigma Trio, and then the Leica 12 and 25. And all these lenses are great mid-tier lenses. These ones are a little bit more like if they come with your camera, or if you want something a little bit less expensive that you can still get nice looking images out of, like the 25mm f2, 25mm f1.8. This one's good for bokeh. This 8mm is good if you need a wide angle, but only if you can find it cheap. Honestly, like only if you can find this one cheap would I recommend it. Otherwise, get the 8mm Cine. And then these ones are just, I would not touch these. The 19mm Sigma, the 30mm Sigma. This one, gosh, all the way at the back, 42.5mm Yongnuo. Yeah, these ones I would just say avoid. But honestly, everything from the meh to the S tier are probably pretty good lenses. It's just, you really have to be wary on how much you're gonna spend on them. So I hope that was entertaining. If you think that I put anything in the wrong tier, let me know in the comment section below. Anyways, thanks for watching. Talk to y'all next time.